stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. To the third. I was thinking, when you say stuff that come from another place, most times people think you crazy. And as I was weighing into that, due to the fact that I'm an artist, for artist's sake, even these words I write down, it's an art. But music has always been something that I saw as a hobby, but it was something that was gifted to me naturally. But when I went to thinking about art, as far as drawing, picture, sculpturing, music, movies, where does it come from? If you know, you know. With that in mind, spark the thinking. You are now plugged into cosmic consciousness. Most of us, if we have a car, we take care of it, I'm sure, right? Correct. So when you think about oil, what your radiator needs, fluid, transmission fluid, gas, if any or all the above mentioned things that are essential for your car is missing or depleted, one or two things don't happen. You're about to break down, or you already done broke down and got your hazard lights on. My point is, how are you fine-tuning your vehicle, your physical vessel? Most of us say, oh, my body, the temple of God. Okay, well, how are you fine-tuning your temple? How are you situating the many rooms in the mansion of your physical house? Emotionally, spiritually, physically, internally. The better your guide, the better your ride. So I say things like feel good for no reason at all. It's a guidepost. It's a guidepost that you can determine what you want from versus what you don't want. Feel good for no reason at all. I feel good for no reason at all. I am your host and co-pilot, Sawu the God, under the direction of the high frequency of my higher self and source. I honor your higher selves and whatever source you serve. There is no separation. We are all one. I was thinking, people tell us they love us all the time, right? Correct. But in the past few days that I've been spending a lot of internal time with myself and the household and the pets and my studies and just reflecting, how does everything reflect me in observation of a movie I was watching. And I said, man, people tell people they love them all the time and don't be operating in the frequency of love. So I connected that to why I exercise the discipline, the mental and emotional discipline of feeling good for no reason at all. And it was quick. It keeps me to be able to operate in the frequency of love. Frequency. My point is, people tell people they love them all the time, every day, and don't be operating in the frequency of love. And because of that, most of us accept a lie or honor a lie more than truth. What are you subscribed to? This ain't gonna resonate with everybody, but a lot of people it will. As people, we tend to get tricked when we in one of a few categories. We tend to get tricked when we in pain. We tend to get tricked when we at a loss. And we tend to get tricked when we chasing some external reality that we have done miscombobulated with ourselves. I'm gonna say it again. We tend to get tricked when we in one of three places. When we're in pain, when we're at loss, and when we are chasing something external of ourselves. Think about it. When you're spiritually gifted, if you're spiritually gifted, I don't have to tell you that you're spiritually gifted. By now, your life has already shown you this. You probably have already are using your gifts and bringing online more gifts into activation according to your discipline, your spiritual disciplines. But when you're spiritually gifted, for the star seeds and light workers, this message ain't for everybody. More so, this is for the light workers. When you're spiritually gifted, we must know that we are not our family employees. Don't let them use you for your spiritual gifts to resource their life. And then outside of that, they have nothing to do with you. Most times, for us to learn who we are and what role we play in the big scheme of these things, to move from star seeds to light workers, we have to go through the journey of what I just described, and it's okay. The purpose that I'm calling it out is because light workers, you don't have to stay there. You are worth every cent that you charge for your abilities if you choose to. You don't have to wrestle with that in your mind. Whoever I'm talking to, the spirit saying, know your worth. Because if you don't know your worth, people gonna shortchange you. It's hard to be angels when you're surrounded by demons. From the book of Tupac Amaru Shakur. It's hard to be angels when you're surrounded by demons. I get it so clear now. But I do it. That's the point. I do it. And if you do it, salute. It's hard to be an angel when you're surrounded by demons, but how else would you figure it out if you not have demons around you to give you the tests? So I salute you. With that being said, intuition. If intuition hasn't become your best friend, you better make it your best friend. Intuition has become my best friend. It can be yours too. And the reason that intuition is so important because it takes bravery. It takes bravery. It takes bravery to walk in the spirit and to walk with spirit. What most people around you don't understand it because they haven't made the contact with it to the level that you have. It takes bravery. October, the thinnest veil, forgiveness, Forgiveness is a word, used so frequently and so randomly that the importance and power of it is taken for granted. But forgiveness is a powerful frequency. It's a powerful energy. It's a healing energy. It's a restoring energy. It's a rejuvenating energy. And the reason that forgiveness is so important because it signifies that whatever you have suffered, whatever pain you have endured, you no longer carry. That's what forgiveness is a symbol of. You no longer carry what pains you. Somebody to catch it. Forgiveness is a warrior in its frequency. Forgiveness becomes a weapon as well as a tool. The reason it becomes a weapon because once you're operating in it, things that once harmed you can't harm you. And when you're activated in it, you show others the way to it. So therefore it becomes a tool. If one thing of many things, because there's nothing outside, it's made me stronger than my enemies. Somebody will catch it. Energetically, I don't know what the ancestors knew about the fire, but they know a whole hell of a lot more than we knew. So honor to the ancestors while they on my mind. We gotta appreciate the ancestors. We gotta give honor and reference through expression to the ancestors. Connect with them. They are our bloodline. It's an importance in what I just said because if you're here today, your DNA is connected to everything that came before you. Therefore, everything that will come, after you, somebody will catch it and do something with it in their life to help their generation. The ascended master divine beings, those who was here before us, they knew something we didn't know about a lot of things, the elements. And take time to sit in the confines of oneself through, meditation, whatever, reading a book or whatever avenue one may find feasible for them to just tap into the space of the flow and allow observation to take place with what comes in, through us, and how it moves and makes us feel. So it's where a lot of this stuff that I write on paper come from. Just emptying myself to get open and connected to the collective consciousness of all of us. And it has its highs and lows, but the more I do it, the easier I'm able to do it, and it allows me the opportunity to balance a lot of things that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to balance within me and externally have I not had the understanding or take the time to practice the disciplines that I quote unquote preach, which I don't consider myself being a preacher of anything. I just share what moves through me and translate it. It's a good place when you find yourself knowing that you are all that you've been looking for. And this Libra new moon energy, that's the frequency I've been feeling. I am what I've been looking for. I'm not looking for nothing outside of myself. Outside of the mind, the realms of my creative mind. Because to do so, we would be feeding ourselves into a creation of an illusion that we created. I said that to say if you know why you're here, what I'm about to say may resonate with you, and it may not resonate with you, depending on what spiritual pay grade you on. But it's easier to read lower vibrations when you're in a high vibrational frequency than it is to reach a high vibrational frequency when you're in a low vibrational place. So if you're critical of others, if you're judgmental of others, for judgment or criticism's sake, then it's probably just because what you're judgmental or critical of for criticism's sake or judgment's sake is a loud reflection of what's emanating from you. In other words, we heard the term, one apple has the potential to spoil the whole bag of apples. Well, the same thing happens when a train is in motion. The vibration of the whole train gets confused and polluted if one car gets contaminated. And I use the expression of the train because that's how the component of our body works. Everything in synchronicity with something else. So the whole unit can move and work and operate as one. Somebody catch it. How are you fine-tuning your vehicle? Emotionally, spiritually, physically, internally, therefore energetic. Every thought counts, family. And everybody don't have to have the same opinion or agree with your opinion. And that's cool. Because that's what makes you you. Inspire, you compliment, and encourage. Feel good for no reason at all. Keep y'all Palo Santo and say on deck, man. It's spiritual opposition heavily, against the family. With the new energies coming in, the veil is thin. Like I said, we're in new moon energy. Be on your work, be on your baths, do what you do, your gems, your crystals, your stones, whatever it is that you do when you do what you do to keep yourself covered in all that you do. Do what you do and do it well. Peace, family. I love y'all. Salute to God.